Part 2 of the notes today. Products of pure imaginary numbers. Simplify the expressions. First thing you want to do is multiply the coefficients. 4 times 7 is 28. I times I is I squared. Anytime you have an I squared, you need to replace it with negative 1. 28 times negative 1 is negative 28. Number 16, multiply the coefficients first. Negative 4 times 2 times negative 9. I times I times I. You want to write it as a product of I squared and whatever else you might have, because we know that I squared is negative 1. So it's 72 times negative 1 times I, which gives us negative 72I. Don't get this confused with square roots. Square roots is the only time you use plus or minus. For these, there is no radical, so it needs to be a definite positive or negative number. Some people on the quiz wrote plus or minus in front of everything, or didn't write it at all. So there was some confusion about when to put that. The only time it's positive and negative is when you take the square root. Number 17, 2 to the third, I to the third. Times 5 times I. If I take one of these i's, that becomes I squared, and I can make this one an I squared, add it to that one. And then I've got 2 to the third is 8. 8 times 5 is 40. I squared times I squared. Both of those are negative 1. What's negative 1 times negative 1? So my answer is 40. Number 18, you've got I squared times square root of 3 squared. What is square root of 3 squared? Square root and square cancel each other out, so it's just 3. And then we've got negative 8 squared is 64, and I squared. Every time you see an I squared, replace it with negative 1. What's 3 times 64? And then negative 1 times negative 1 is 1, so your answer is just 192. Any questions so far?
Yes.
Number 19, square root of, now we're adding in the square roots. Now we have a radical. So this is where the plus or minus comes in. Square root of 18. Three I times square root of 2. I think somebody said that. And square root of negative 10 is I times square root of 10. Multiply what's outside of the radical and then multiply what's underneath the radical. 3I times I is 3I squared. Square root of 2 times square root of 10 is square root of 20. What's the square root of 20? Replace I squared with negative 1. Square root of 20 is 2 square root of 5. This is negative 3 times 2, which is negative 6, square root of 5. So it's definitely a negative. You don't put plus or minus. Last one, number 20. Take the square root of each term. What's the square root of negative 24? 2i square root of 6. We can't take the square root of 3, but we know the square root of -1 is I, so 3 stays under the radical, I comes out. Can't take the square root of 2, but we can take the square root of -1, that's I. 2 stays under the radical. Multiply what is under the radical, multiply what is out of the radical. 2i times I times I. I times I is I squared. We're going to replace that with a -1. We have square root of 6 times square root of 3 times square root of 2. What is 6 times 3 times 2? All right, what's the square root of 36? Put the -1 in place of I squared. 36 is, square root of 36 is 6. Multiply times what we have already. 2 times 6 is 12, times -1 is -12, times I is -12i. Your assignment for today is on the next page. Homework 4. You can do 1 through 23 odd or 2 through 24 even, your choice. This is assignment 12. Assignment 12, homework 4. You can do evens or odds.